All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Franco here live in Washington, D.C. Today is National Whistleblowers Day, and I'm here at a rally. We got a few people here because Randy Sertico was organizing the events that were supposed to take place today, in addition to the event that took place yesterday and the day before. But it doesn't matter. We will still make some noise with the people that we have here today and spread the message. We got some flyers and paperwork here that we can hand out to people. And I'll interview some of the people that are here today. Regardless of how many people are here, I still want to dedicate this stream to the whistleblowers who have sacrificed themselves to expose information, to inform the people about the truth about what our government does in other countries and what they do to us. We deserve to know the truth, and that shouldn't be a punishment. People who expose the truth should receive medals. Or we shouldn't be getting lied to by our government. Right? So with that being said, I'll shift on over and show everybody else, and I'll ask some questions. How's it going, Kobe? Yep. You want to share some thoughts about National Whistleblowers Day?
Whistleblowers Day?
Yeah. Or in a bit.
I'll think of something in a bit. I'm actually about to do some chalking on the ground about this.
Nice.
Yeah,
I brought the chalk.
Yeah.
I brought the chalk.
And I was like, it's better not rain. It's better not rain. I swear to God.
Are you gonna come over and chalk? Hey, it's not like graffiti, right? So that's why I thought it was okay. I was gonna be. I was gonna say I was gonna write it like right there. If they come over and say something.
There will be statements.
So I was wondering if I could do it, like I was saying before,
Nice little free signs written before they walk over and see it. Oh yeah.
What's up, Radical Leftist Agenda? Charlie Marx, Zaydan, Parasocialite, Freethinker 59, Chad Wilson. What's up, brother?
I'm gonna call my pop. I thought it was so crazy that one time we were with like 10 and like bombs sleeping dogs. I'm like, why do they need bombs sleeping dogs for 10 people?
Do any of you want to share some thoughts on National Whistleblowers Day? Okay. What's up, Brian? How's it going, man?
Yeah.
You want to say some words about whistleblowers?
Yeah, it's just, we have to be out here to support them. They're like the champions, and have to keep supporting them. They're letting us know what's really going on in society. The people out there who kind of might do the worst things, try to cover them up. If we don't have the whistleblowers, we're not going to know about these things. And we have to be out here in support of those whistleblowers, just telling the truth, because it's all we have, the truth. We need to go with that.
So how do you think we can spread the message to more people about the importance of whistleblowers in addition to coming out into the streets?
Yeah, just talk to people inform them, about what's going on, what's been revealed in the past. I didn't really even, get to know too much about Assange until the past, couple of years, even though this has been going on for, a decade now, essentially, kind of. Yeah, so just talking, getting the word out, and if you have questions, just inform them. And, yeah.
Was there ever a point where you weren't that informed about Assange, and were you ever buying into the mainstream narratives about what they were saying about him?
I don't think I really ever got into the mainstream narratives about him. It was more so I just didn't know much about him. I really, I guess, I would say 4 or 5 years ago is when I started to pay more attention to politics and what's really going on in the world, and then that kind of snowballed in the past couple of years, just paying more attention to what's actually going on, getting away from kind of corporate media. That's kind of, in the past I wasn't really watching a lot of it, but that's where I do kind of get my information from, if there was some. So it's really important to find people that you actually know and trust, versus just relying on whatever is out there from someone or some source that you don't know or trust, because then how do you know it's true? So it's getting as close to the source as you can. If you can be there and see what's actually happening, that's the best. And the second best from that is finding someone who's there and documenting and relying on actually what's going on, and not just someone's opinion or narrative.
The first time you were ever on the show was when I interviewed you about Tulsi Gabbard, and she is one of the only people who were in Congress who were speaking out about whistleblowers. And right before she stepped out, she introduced legislation to protect whistleblowers, and one of them was dedicated to Julian Assange. But now she's not in Congress anymore, and there's not a single Democratic Congressperson who's standing up for Julian Assange. Do you think that's going to change anytime soon? Or if not, how can we make that change?
I mean, I don't think it's going to change unless there's, even more pressure. I mean, you would think that the Democrats would be the ones who would be outspoken about, free press, whistleblowers, and this is the most important whistleblower, free press, free speech case maybe in history, and things don't seem to really be going anywhere. They don't seem to be getting better with Assange, and it's going to set a really bad precedent if they don't start speaking up about it. The only alternative is to find people and go for those who are really outspoken about it, and direct action as well, because some people who maybe in the past have said, "Oh, I support free speech or free press," they're silent on the issue. So you have to take the actions of people, not just their words.
Exactly. Yeah. Brian Fauch, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. We got Kobe over there writing down free Assange with the chalk. Just showing you doing your thing.
Come up with some more things to write before they come over and possibly tell me to stop.
So you were recently on the show, and I had you talk about your interaction with Cori Bush. And the next time that you come across a politician, will you for sure ask them about whistleblowers and what their stance is on that?
See, that's why I wish I had thought of that question, because when I walked up to Cori Bush, it was kind of just a spontaneous, I was already interviewing everybody there about Medicare for all, and working as a block to push for it. But no, definitely next time I think that should be one of the highlights, because like I said, they don't talk about Assange, they don't talk about Daniel Hale, they don't talk about any whistleblowers at all.
Yeah.
That's a huge contradiction. They talk about they're representing progressive values and things like that, but then I thought last summer at the Black Lives Matter protest I heard the phrase silence is violence.
Yeah.
I mean, they're silent.
Exactly. Yeah, at the time, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have thought about it either, because what I'd be thinking about was forced to vote
Yeah, well,
in
I was
healthcare.
walking up to everybody asking those two questions when I was asking every single person there.
Yeah, but those two issues are related.
Oh, 100%.
So
and
like,
they haven't answered it yet. And then our revolution.
isn't it so silly when people are
yesterday.
like, "Oh, it's irrelevant to be talking about Julian Assange at a Medicare for All event"? I mean, how do you think we can spread the message across if we don't have, free press?
I mean, it reminds me of I used to protest with Shut Down DC, and they're kind of like a coalition of a bunch of different activist organizations here in DC, almost like a confederacy. People just cooperate together, but they're not one group officially. And the whole thing they talk about is intersectionality and showing up for each other's issues and elevating each other's issues. And I feel like Fiorella talking about Free Assange at the March for Medicare for All, it's relevant.
Exactly.
It touches on every issue.
Yep. 100%.
I saw him
And then-
cut out. I thought he was going to come over, but he didn't. He walked away.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get that message out there, how it's completely silly for people to think that this issue is not related at all to anything else. Because without a free press, how can you talk about police violence? How can you talk about our election system being privately owned? How can you talk about the foreign wars? I mean, they're shutting down sites like Press TV here in the United States.
I made the connection yesterday. Somebody had replied to one of my tweets about it. They were like, "Oh, what would freeing Assange have to do with a $15 an hour minimum wage or economic issues?" I was like, okay, let's think of a scenario where a journalist is working with a whistleblower at the Department of Labor. You know what I mean? And they are trying to help conceal the identity of this whistleblower from the Department of Labor. But now Julian Assange and his journalistic activities with Chelsea Manning, they've now criminalized that sort of behavior, at least if they successfully, extradite and prosecute him. So basically, it will change the entire journalist-whistleblower dynamic, the whole relationship between journalists and whistleblowers. People will be walking on eggshells, everybody will be self-censoring, kind of worried, will the government come after me? Kind of like Craig Murray.
Yep.
He got, or he was prosecuted, sentenced, I think, this week. And it was for, jigsaw identification. He accidentally included enough details that they could find back to the whistleblower. And I don't know exactly what the full defense was, but I think it was an honest mistake. And now he's going to be in jail for months over something that was just a mistake. So then, when journalists know that one wrong word written one way is going to have this type of repercussion, you're going to think twice before you write certain things and cover certain things, and that will be detrimental to what you cover.
Yeah. There are some topics that get you immediately shut down on YouTube and on Twitter. If you talk about if you challenge the COVID narrative, for example, and then I got to go to an alternative site to talk about that. But I mean, if you say the name Julian Assange, your video doesn't automatically get taken down, but still there are some people out there that want to not say his name at all.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's I saw somebody post about it yesterday. They seem to have this taboo about talking about Assange because they associate him with Trump and Russia, or they associate him with the sexual assault claims that were charged against him, or they associate him with all of the personal things about him and how they perceive his character, and they don't think about the case in terms of journalism, in terms of free press, in terms of the consequences that it'll have. It doesn't matter if you like the journalist as a person. If you can understand that the precedent that'll be set by charging him for working with Chelsea Manning to put out these Iraq war logs, you shouldn't be scared to say his name because you don't, it's not you endorsing the man, it's you protecting the free press. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people on the left have, is that they have some sort of negative opinions about Julian Assange the person, and that leads to them not caring about the case. And it's contradictory because a lot of people who were at the Black Lives Matter protest this summer, who are defund the police, who are abolitionists, who said none of us are free until all of us are free, and they're just completely silent on Assange or making fun of Assangists.
Yeah.
Assangists. What is an Assangist? I don't even know what that is. Somebody who centers at him in their activism. I mean, it's crazy.
I heard
It's
from
hypocritical.
someone once say that, oh, what has Assange ever done about police violence? Like he's never
There
like
was a
if it-
video, so there's an interview in 2016 where he interviewed on RT where they asked him, how do you feel about the Black Lives Matter protests? And he said, you know, they videotape the police brutality and now more people are finally believing them, and you know, it shows that citizen journalism can be effective.
Yeah.
So he talked explicitly about police brutality and how journalism.
And what about the brutality that our military does? Like, look at the videos that he released, killing it, like our military killing innocent people.
All around the world. And it's like they've been harsher on punishing the whistleblowers and the journalists than they are on the people who dropped the bombs, you know, who ordered the airstrikes. They get to go walk free. It's just a ridiculous double standard.
It's like torturing the person who filmed.
Nancy Pelosi knew about the torture program. She was briefed on the torture programs in the early 2000s. And then she still ended up, you know, getting as powerful as she is. The squad votes for her.
Yep.
AOC was saying nice things about Hillary Clinton in 2019. You know, 2019 was after all of the Hillary Clinton war crime evidence, Clinton Foundation, you know, pay for play with all of these Haiti interventions
Exactly.
and stuff like that. And there's so much depth there that I thought in the past that AOC cared about those things. I was naive, I guess. I thought she was on her side, but
Hey man, we're learning fast. It's not like that many years have passed by since she got elected that we figured this
It's a lot easier to
out.
tell when it's a Democrat president because then, you know, she used to call out the Syrian airstrike against Trump as if it was terrible. Or she would say that the detention or the migrant concentration camps, she called them concentration camps under Trump, but now they're detention facilities.
Yep.
And it just kind of goes to show that they don't have consistent standards, they have partisan standards. That's so frustrating. I'm gonna keep it.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Kobe.
Who's the other guy?
Craig Murray.
From the UK. I mean, they can.
Who's another victim? A lot of them, aren't there?
Reality Warrior's been free. That was, or at least served
What
time.
happened to reality? When is she still in there?
No, she just recently got out.
When?
Last month?
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
She in a home arrest though?
Who else? Is there any? Those are the three off the top of my head. Rainy Hill, Craig Murray, and Julian right now. But there's only one decision!
No extradition.
There's only one decision!
No extradition.
Free!
Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. So Jordan, you have a sign that says "Ask me about Assange." Let's say someone comes up to you, doesn't know anything about Julian Assange. You know, what would you tell them? How would you educate someone that doesn't know anything about that?
Well, I tell them first, you know, Julian Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks, and he's a journalist who has consistently exposed war crimes, the crimes of other people, but he's the one in jail. If he's right now being charged on the Espionage Act for treason to a country that he does not belong to. But the reason why they're doing that, it seems, is to make sure that it's to take out Julian Assange, take out WikiLeaks, while also silencing and suppressing all other journalists in America. Because if some other journalists are scared now of being charged under the same Espionage Act if they were to cover this case. Some journalists, there have been a lot of courageous other journalists in the independent media, particularly. And if he were to be charged under this Espionage Act, that would affect him as an international person. Like, that would still affect all Americans. That if you reveal war crimes, even as an American, you can be charged under the Espionage Act under treason. And we just saw that again with Daniel Hill. So, Daniel Hill already before even the precedent that would be set in Julian Assange's case. So, even if you don't like who he is as a person, who Julian Assange is as a person, and I definitely let people know that there's been a lot of slander and lot of, what's the word?
Smears.
Smears, that's the word. There's a lot of smears put against them very purposefully, and that's something that is done all the time by anyone who's an enemy of the CIA, the FBI, or the United States government. Like, that is something easy. That's the main thing they do from the get, to make sure that the average person or just a regular person does not go against the state.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're being interrupted by a police officer allowing us to chalk up.
You're not facing a building with something that washes off.
It'll rain off tonight.
It's chalk.
Washes off.
Okay. He wanted to check to see if it wasn't going to wash off, but it will because it's chalk.
That's your job, is to protect the news
Sorry.
and the Constitution.
Get up, free
Oh, yeah.
school.
We've been took an oath to protect the Constitution.
Okay. So they're still standing here.
No, it's okay.
They already checked to see if
Picture of it.
Oh yeah.
this was any like vandalism, but it's just chalk. It'll wash off with the rain. And I guess they're just standing here now in case to see if there's any civil disobedience that happens, but there isn't. So I guess they realized that and now they're just walking away. I don't think anything will happen. We're just out here chanting for whistleblowers. It's not that many of us. Nobody's breaking any laws. We just want to educate people. Yeah, what would you tell people? So you let people know about who Julian Assange is, what he did. You tell them about WikiLeaks. You tell them about the war crimes he's revealed. Now, what if they say, okay, how does this directly affect me? Like, why should I care about this?
Yeah, so again, the precedent that would be set by him being extradited and then charged under the Espionage Act would make it so that when any American citizen journalist or any journalist here, if they were to expose crimes of the government, like, they would be considered a traitor.
No, that's fine.
And that's just very interesting considering how today is National Whistleblowers Day. 243 years ago, and I believe it was 17. Oh, I can't get the name right, the day right, but back in the 1700s, the first National Whistleblowers Day, or what we could consider the first National Whistleblowers Day. It was started. The first whistleblowers law was passed because members of the Navy wanted to expose one of their higher ups for committing crimes. And so the first law was passed to say that, hey, Americans are allowed to tell when people who are supposed to be serving them are doing them wrong. And so it's just, to me, like, the simplest thing. Like, if someone is doing wrong, they need to be punished, because that's what happens to all of us. But for some reason, when it comes to the protected elites, either in the corporations or in the government or the military, there's a whole other set of rules, and we have to suffer for both of them. So, like, we should live in a country. If we're gonna have a democracy, we have to make sure that when people violate the social contract, that they need to be either punished or corrected or something, you know. And that this is a case that's at the root of the problems of our nation. Like, we don't handle corrective behavior. We don't handle accountability at all. And that's on a systematic level and also individual level. And until, like, we evolve to that point, like, we're not gonna be able to maintain or even start to have a semblance of democracy. So we're really fighting for democracy here. Like, if Julian Assange is convicted, we do not. That is really the end.
And it's a post-partisan issue, right? All politicians, all presidents that we've had are war criminals in recent history. So let's say someone is still in the two-party illusion that you're talking to. They're coming at it in a partisan lens. They say, I don't trust Julian Assange because he helped Donald Trump. So what would you say to that?
I would say that
I follow like 4,000 people.
going to charge him when he was in office, but decided against it because then he was like, well, I have to charge the New York Post, New York Times, Washington Post, all of them. And then immediately after Biden gets into office, he decides to appeal the decision made during the Trump era to not extradite him to America. So it's like they're all working really for the same. Like there's nothing partisan about this. This is about I don't like calling them elites, but like the people in power. They want to make sure that they stay in power, and the only way they can do that is making sure that we feel and seem powerless. And Julian Assange helps us with feeling like we have power because he is educating us on what's really happening. Education absolutely is our greatest power and our greatest strength as people. So yeah.
It's an illusion. Like they like both parties work for the same people, the same corporations. They want to obtain resources from other countries so that they could profit off of that. And it doesn't matter who's in office, like if it's a Democrat or Republican, they'll still carry out these tasks to benefit these corporations. And if anybody's going to be exposing that to people and have people realize and come out of that two-party illusion, then they're seen as an enemy. And that's what's happening with Julian Assange.
Absolutely. We haven't seen any congressperson or any politically elected person come out here at all, or even try. So yeah, we're really on our own and independent.
So I see that you brought some papers and some booklets,
Yeah.
right? So how are you planning on distributing these pieces of information to people? Are you planning on walking around and handing them out, or are you just waiting for people to come by?
We've mostly been waiting for people to come by. This was a very not really improvised event because there was supposed to be more of the rainy Credico, but understandably, he got
Tired, yeah.
Very understandable. Like this heat and humidity combo
Yeah.
has been crazy. So it wasn't our intent to sort of be just holding it down, DC Metro for Assange Day. But since we are, yeah, we can definitely consider walking around a little bit today. There's some people at work and everything, but yeah, we mostly want to have people come up and ask for Assange. We definitely want it to be more of a consensual situation where if they want to, they're interested or not. We've been chanting to catch attention, and the police, I guess, are helping us with that as well. Still, but yeah, we are here to educate, and I think that's been a main thing for us, Assange as well. Like we just want to make sure we are giving people a chance to know the truth and something that's being said outside of mainstream media.
Yeah, so what are in these papers here? There you have these stapled papers, and then you have this little booklet here.
Mm-hmm.
So
This booklet is sort of a comic book of sorts of the collateral murder videos, and it's something that can be a little bit more accessible for people, and it's just going through what happened in Julian Assange's release video, collateral murder videos. This is a briefing note on when the judge ruled that it was unsafe to extradite Julian Assange. This is a summary, and there's a little packet of a little more information. And let me mix these up a little bit. But this is a letter. Let me make sure I know who the letter's from. Yeah, this is a letter just giving information. This is by Gabriel Shipton, his brother. And it's a letter to tell people, why they should stand up for Julian Assange. And so I think we're about educating people. That's our greatest power as people, and the ability to build bridges.
Yeah, I'd be down to walk around in a little bit,
Yeah.
like before it's 2 p.m. and hand these out to people.
Yeah, I think it's a good day. There's a lot of people around here.
Yeah.
There's something happening.
All right, thanks a lot, Jordan. So the cops are still, or the security are still like watching us to make sure there's no civil disobedience, but there isn't. But they got really triggered just because we were writing with chalk here. It's not the. I don't think it's the first time we ever wrote with chalk at this place outside of Department of Justice.
Is everybody ready to go? Because there's a lot of people down there in front of the Smithsonian.
Oh, also like at the Federal Triangle, there's a lot of people. There's like a concert and tacos. There's a lot of people there.
That's why there's no parking.
Yeah. It's a good opportunity to hand these out to people and talk to them.
I don't never drink enough water. That was so crazy. They came up to me so aggressive about this. Yeah, I know.
It's not the first time that I've seen people use chalk here. I'm pretty sure they did this in January and like in March.
Yeah, it was just like.
Who knows? There might be something inside.
It's just chalk. It's not graffiti or anything. I very purposely.
At the
chalked
embassy,
out
okay.
because I figured
But it's like the same thing though. Like
Yeah, there's
it's doing it
some-
here.
I know, it's crazy. When we did ribbons,
Like, I'm gonna try to get my congressman to comment on this, and to do it, I'm going to take a bunch
they
of
wouldn't
pictures
let
of
us
Julian
put it
Assange all
on
over his front office.
closest
Because
to
again, it's not
Department of
vandalism.
Justice,
It's
they
just
put them on the ones on the outside.
symbolic
That's
attention
not
given.
Hmm. I mean, this shouldn't be a problem. It'll just get washed
Oh yeah,
off.
no, I know. They literally
Yeah.
made her take down like all the stuff. They were trying to make her take down all the. She would pin information and put the yellow ribbons that say free.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were trying to make her take it all down.
Well, I don't know where. I have to
We
find
should
out
try
which
with like
office to go
stickers.
to, because
With
maybe
stickers,
my representative
they can't take that down.
So
Like
now,
with
yeah,
stickers,
I don't
Well,
want to
just
get
it's harder.
because of, like damage to the trees, they did a little test.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to pass this one around?
I can see how with ribbons they'll be like, oh, this is littering. But oh well.
Yeah, I've already written the letter.
But they were like, they can't be our chief, they have to be the public.
Start calling them.
Yeah,
No, they're
like,
Democrats.
this is still technically
Jimmy Rashkin writes all sorts of bills about press freedom. He's also a
Okay.
Russian hater.
On the
So
other
he's not
side.
gonna. He's probably not gonna say anything about it. But I have to
We should
question.
get some real pressure.
If you, so I'm saying, if you read the bills that Jamie Rashkin is co-sponsored, they are like
And then when
every
we did the
word
projector,
should apply to
they
Julian
had to
Assange.
get it back.
Every
They got
word.
mad about the projector.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Like showing
He's an out-revolution endorsed
collateral murder.
Democrat. He's a Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders.
Yeah.
He's a
I don't know if it is
Democrat.
the collateral murder, but it was.
Oh, definitely.
Uh,
I mean, our
I
revolution
think
now are
it
the
was, Juan Castro
pragmatic
documentary
progressives.
that we played,
They're
and, like,
pushing
one of the
Biden's agenda
teachings
forward
that,
now. That's what they said.
Oh, okay.
After first launch,
They deleted
and
the
then we
tweet.
put like little fake candles out,
About
but
it,
yeah,
right?
there was like a
Controversial.
big exchange back and forth with the police, and they first set the projector off.
I don't get what's
And
wrong
it's
with
like-
that.
It's a projection. It's not. There's like. Once we
It's
leave,
not
all
permanent,
coming
yeah.
like that.
Can you carry
I'm excited for this, guys. I'm excited to interact with people.
Banner. Can you carry
And-
it's always interesting.
Yeah.
Hearing where people are coming at about the issue. Usually it's typically the same talking points you'll usually hear from people. You know.
What do they
either
say?
They vaguely like him because he revealed the secrets, or they don't like him because of the rumors they've heard about him. You know.
People who are still in the two-party illusion. We just have to understand that that's where the majority of people in DC are going to be at
Oh,
still.
totally. Where?
In the two-party illusion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely in the definitely in the DC
third
area.
party? I'm in the Green Party, so.
All right, let's start walking.
Yeah.
Federal Triangle's that way. There's
Oh,
going
okay.
to be a lot of people there, unless you guys want to head down that way.
Is there a way we can do that and then get to Federal Triangle?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't know where Federal Triangle went.
Brian, you live in the DC area more than us. You want to lead the way and show us like how to get to places, like Federal Triangle and all that?
You just go around. Oh,
Is there a way to do that?
yeah, you just got this Smithsonian.
All right.
It's right
I'll be
across the
behind you
street.
guys.
Park
I'll be
it.
showing everything. Taking advantage of the time.
Oh shit, you should write it. I forgot to get my sign. Oh my god. That code pink sign, I posted it on Twitter.
There's our other guy. Hopefully this inspires some of you guys. Like, it doesn't have to be a massive group. You can have a small group like this and go and talk to people and talk, like, engage with them, educate them about what the issue is that you're out there advocating for, and you can hand out information to them. And this will also be a learning experience. Like, how can we improve from this? For me, this is the first time doing this. I've live streamed protests. I've live streamed rallies. This is my first time live streaming, people, like a small group, going out, engaging with the masses and informing them.
I had somebody else speaking about this on our dad. They saw me carrying this shirt and they're like,
Yeah, okay, I know you're saying.
within the day before I was wearing this massive shirt and I was walking around and I was like, dude, why would you be wearing this? It was really uncomfortable because I know that there's people in public who are like, don't like it.
That's how I felt, when I bought my
Yeah, let's see who had it.
It's a nice, beautiful day, and you guys get to see DC.
Not to like just go my back really hard. Just take the next 2 weeks off work and focus on it. I haven't passed the night today. And excuse me, you got a crown here. So. Well, wait, who's gonna lead the chant?
There's only one decision.
No extradition.
Free,
Free,
free Julian Assange. Free, free, Julian Assange. There's only one decision.
No extradition.
Free, free Julian Assange. Free, Julian Assange. There's only one decision. No extradition.
Yeah, let's cross the street.
Let's cross that.
Free Daniel Hale!
Free Daniel Hale!
Free Daniel Hale. There's only one decision. No extradition. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. There's only one decision. No extradition. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. There's only one decision. No extradition. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. There's only one decision. No
That guy shaking his head. I met him before.
Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange.
More criminals in power while we put journalists in jail. Whistleblowers go to jail for telling
Cattrall, these people are going inside of the Natural History Museum. They're waiting in line to get in the museum.
Papers proving that point. He's now in jail for 4 years because our government is so crooked. They had to jail a whistleblower.
The people who dropped bombs on those people in Afghanistan walk free, while the people who told us about us are in jail.
That's
And none
our
of the politicians
drone
care.
program. Our drone program. You like drones?
Drones kill children.
Every day. We ran out of bombs. We ran out of bombs. And the people who exposed them are in jail while we sit silent. It will be you next. It will be you in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years. I don't think that hurt us. Free! Free!
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
Free. No extradition. No extradition. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange.
Joe Biden is dropping bombs around the world while he's arresting journalists.
Ice cold water and Gatorade. Ice cold drinks. We are truth tellers. We are whistleblowers. Free the whistleblowers. Free Julian Assange. Free Daniel Hale. If you want to know the truth, then you don't want whistleblowers in prison. If you want democracy, you need the truth. Democracy cannot live without the truth. Yeah, that's it. Let's say here.
You guys want to split up and talk to like people separately, have conversations with them
We should do it at the National Mall.
at the National Mall?
That's what I think,
Okay.
yeah. I feel like here people are kind of captive in line, and they're not going to really. I mean, they talk to us because they're in line, but they're not going to necessarily want to.
They're kind of. A lot of them look grumpy. But a lot of them look grumpy, bro.
Yeah, so I don't think they're. It's easier when you're in the National Mall. People can come up to you and kind of like want to talk to you about it.
Force it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. In the National Mall, there's probably people up by the.
Yeah, but they can always
monuments.
go around.
They what?
Yeah, but there are a lot of ways to go around it.
Yeah.
You can see.
Well, why don't we stay here for maybe 5 minutes? We can go back to the middle. Go back to the middle and, you know.
I'll ask people walking back and forth with these folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily gonna. I think they've already heard us twice.
Oh, I mean, like the past.
So I think we should go to a new crowd. I think we should expose new people to the idea.
Yeah, we're gonna look.
You can ask some of the people like politely if they want to talk for a bit,
Yeah.
and if they don't want to, then you just move on to the next person.
I just never know how to even talk about a situation like this. I know I probably would like this. I would get under Yeah, I got that. I'm so happy I got the he was coming over.
Whistleblower Day, everyone! Yay! I heard it! National whistleblowers are in jail right now while the criminals run free. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Since we defeated fascism, we can talk about it, right? We defeated fascism, right? No! Journalists are in jail. Whistleblowers are in jail. And we're just walking around like it's normal. Free Julian Assange. Free Daniel Hale. Daniel Hale just got sentenced to 45 months in prison for revealing that the government killed civilians 90% of the time when they were targeting supposed criminals in the Middle East. How does that make sense? Did we defeat fascism? Look at my black ass and ass feet. Did we defeat fascism?
All the drinks, guys. Water and Gatorade.
No, didn't think so. So my ass has to be out here chanting to a citizenry that continues to believe in cult of personality instead of policy. We are not peasants. We do not have monarchs. We are free citizens with independent minds. Please, read independent journalism. CNN, MSNBC, they are cowards. Fox, they are cowards. They will not cover this story. We are not victims to a police state, to a totalitarian state, if we allow it. If we don't allow it.
A whole summer of Black Lives Matter protests last summer, and Biden gives more money to police. The Black Lives Matter movement demanded to defund the police, and Biden gives more money to police. He drops bombs on the Middle East. He drops bombs on Africa. And he arrests journalists and whistleblowers. And that's stopping fascism? You guys voted out fascism? Really? That's not voting out fascism. That's replacing the red fascists with the blue fascists.
There is no binary unless you want one. We can free ourselves. Otherwise, they will continue to play us 4 years after 4 years. 4 years after 4 years. Until what? Until we're in cages, aka detention centers, aka detention facilities. All for our safety.
The Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, said that the United States government is not spying on all citizens. Edward Snowden revealed that the United States government is spying on United States citizens. And what does the government want to do? They're trying to throw him in jail for decades for telling us the truth. James Clapper lied under oath to Congress. He lied under oath. And he walks free, and Julian Assange is in a prison in Belmarsh. The United Nations Special Reporter on Torture says that Julian Assange is being tortured by the United States government. The ACLU says that the attack on Julian Assange is an attack on the international free press. He's an Australian journalist. An Australian journalist who published evidence of war crimes. And the United States government tries to extradite him to the United States.
Ice cold water for Gatorade.
If Julian Assange is convicted, we no longer have free speech in America. That is actually something very important. We might have forgotten the past 4 years, but we need the ability to speak. If you care about having health care, if you care about having freedom, if you care about having student loan debt forgiveness, you need the ability to speak. We need other people from other countries to have the ability to call our mess out as well.
How do you expect to end the wars if the United States government censors all of the information about the wars? If they try to arrest the journalists who tell us about the wars?
We very much encourage you to watch independent media. Rockfin. They will tell you the truth without corporate donations getting in the way.
Cold drink, water for Gatorade.
Alright, I think we can go. Happy National Whistleblowers Day, everyone! Thank you so much for your time.
Democracy is being used without knowledge, without knowing what the real news is. We don't have a democracy anymore. And you need to support your whistleblowers. Drink, guys. What is the Gatorade? Will be a victim of your government. Cold water to Gatorade. Cold drink.
Then they're going to complain that we're yelling. Then they're going to complain with our studies say, you didn't yell. I have asked.
Memorial Light.
Right? It's okay to put up, you know.
Couple more rounds.
You guys don't want to go up to a few individuals and talk to them about this? Some of the more like working class people, not the more bougie people.
But we could ask them, what should we ask them? Like, you want to talk about it? Because we are videotaping, so maybe we could ask them if they want to, they're willing to say some words on camera.
We can ask them if they think that there's free press in the United States, and then go from there and explain to them, you know, what's going on based on their answer. But it's important to not sound so preachy like when we talk to them, and just like ask them to see where they're at.
Well, I guess we have to ask them if they want to be filled first.
Yeah. And then when they say that, just let me know, and then I'll. We don't even have to show their face. We can just show, like, you know, the scenery, and then we can hear their voice. Yeah.
I just always hate walking up to people in situations like this. It's so awkward because 99% of people say no. They don't want to talk. Oh, I've been a salesman. I tried to sell. I was a tour guide in Italy, and I sucked at it. But I'm good at trying, but I'm not good at walking up to random people and asking if they want to talk to us about it, because I just feel like they're always going to say no. That's how I was when I tried to sell important things. Like, trying to walk up to people like, hey,
You can say, Charlie, you look marvelous, by the way. Here's But be sure not to drink. You can't drink while you're doing it because you'll be tried pretty soon.
literally, it was all permission based. I barely sold it.
You could have wrote anything. You could have wrote hi.
A lot of times they don't know the lines anyway.
If I ever get audited, that's what I'm going to say. I'll just be like, audit the Pentagon for just being me. I've been seeing like videos of people being like, especially with the draft, it has to so that women like create draft down. And there's so many people just being like, I'm just not going to go. Like, they'll literally arrest you and they're like, oh yeah, I'll go to jail.
They're making people sign up.
Well, it was passed in the Senate, so I think it's probably signed by Biden and Biden's gonna be like, this is a great day for women.
You know, there's a theory about that. Once they do that, once they pass the draft, they have a lot of enforcement. They don't want to go forward. That was well, if they bring back the draft, we won't have any wars. People aren't going to go.
Gen Z is not gonna go. I
There's
don't
going to
think
be a
the
lot of
people,
people aren't going to go.
like, yeah, a lot of people are gonna go, but
But you're also going to have some real resistance.
particularly Gen Z is not going to war. Gen Alpha, you can forget it. Like, no. People would rather go to jail than go to war.
It's a big break.
I mean,
Quarantine makes people brave.
is it bravery then? Like, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's gonna be funny, and they're gonna be like, this is a great day for women. You can go to war now. Or like, it's
Kind
a
of
great day to
ironic.
have a.
However, that industry. Well, there are some women who are out. Who want some direct blood.
Yeah, no, and I get that. I get that.
But not that many.
That's not personally my way of handling my emotions. But, you know.
Sorry, my
Kind of
bad.
hard to
Like,
see.
I have a military family.
Yeah.
Well, we should take a bigger picture together, you know,
Oh, well, I'm here doing this today. Hey, come on over. It's, free Hassan, free Hale,
Free us not!
free
Oh, let me get
Daniel
in there.
Hale, free Mabubi Abu Jamal. Oh, take it again.
Okay.
You
Oh,
missed it. I
wait,
say
wait,
Franco
wait.
just got it. Oh,
Free.
free Abu Jamal. Mumia Abu Jamal.
Yeah, Mumia Abu Jamal, yep.
Free Leonard Peltier.
He said to free Julian Assange. He wrote a letter about it.
Who?
That's
Mumia
right.
Abu
The
Jamal?
president
Oh, he did.
just wrote
Yeah.
a whole.
He was one of the journalists who covered the moon bombing in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I used to hear him on NPR.
Really? Oh yeah, when it was in jail, right? Because he used to
No, before.
Before.
He was a reporter for NPR.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I know you used to do
I
once you
guess
got
they
arrested.
kind of didn't keep up the channel.
My parking will be up in like
He
15 minutes, so
recorded for it.
let's get to the mall and come back.
Good to see you guys. Yeah, sure. See you again
I don't know if
soon.
something's happening with the 11th. But I don't know.
Okay.
You guys should
Let you
come
know.
with me
Alright.
to Jamie Rashkin's office one morning.
How can you get in there?
You say
Huh?
When?
Oh, you're getting the Maryland one.
Yeah. I
Oh, when
said
are you going?
Can't get in the
Next week
Capitol.
sometime. I'm gonna
Okay.
try to put a bunch of pictures of Julian Assange all over the front of his office. Just tape it on the
You
building.
need to get somebody to.
And I'm gonna hand him the I already mailed him my letter. I'm gonna
Yeah, we
physically
need to
leave
get
the
some
letter there at the building
organizations
also.
after it.
Huh?
Some organizations probably.
Yeah, I mean I don't know who to get to come with
Code
me.
Pink is a good one.
Code Pink, if they'll come to Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they would. Ask them.
Yeah, I can reach out. It'd be a lot better than me going alone for sure.
You don't want to go alone. Take a couple organizations with you.
Josh might be available. If it's a delivery day for me,
What about answer? What about answer?
I haven't asked him. I was saying I have to ask him.
What are your meetings? I think are Wednesday night.
Today.
Near Howard University. We have open meetings.
Are you guys ready?
My
Yeah, I'll say-
parking goes up in like 15
Yeah, I'll say I'm
minutes.
down to go too if you are. I'll take my parking also in 50 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so why don't we, yeah. I think we did really well.
That was fun. Thanks, y'all.
Okay.
Thank you so much for holding
All right.
me.
Thanks a lot, guys. You guys want to give any closing remarks?
Well, we are honoring National Whistleblowers Day. I think there's a petition to make it an official holiday online. I can put that on the DC Metro Son's Twitter. It's so important that we talk to people, whether it is yelling or just talking, and just share information, because I think the main thing that we are going against right now is exposure, and people need exposure to the truth of what's happening. They need exposure to independent media.
Like I said, I was
They need
bad at
exposure to
selling tours in
positive,
Italy. I was terrible at selling people.
remarks about Julian
I
Assange,
sold like
Daniel
5
Neal,
tours.
Edward Snowden, everyone who's telling the truth, and these criminals
See,
need
the thing
a
was
little more
that
negative
companies
exposure. So,
it was like
yes,
they told us
happy
you don't need
National
work permit.
Whistleblowers Day. Thank you so much to everyone who's told the truth.
They were sketchy.
We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jordan. All right, guys. We'll end the stream here. I think it was a good day, learning experience. You know, we can learn like what works and what doesn't work. It could have been a bigger event if Randy Sertico hadn't canceled, but it's all right. He felt tired after 2 days of protesting, which I didn't get to attend, but we will still continue those solutions panels where we can hear feedback about events such as what we just saw today. And yeah, guys, it's really important to engage with the masses. These people try to get the message out to that crowd of people outside of the Museum of Natural History. Obviously a lot of them were not interested. We got to figure out a way of how we can raise their awareness, some of them, by starting conversations with them.
I would do it, yeah. I just
But yeah, it's a learning experience, guys. No one else is getting their asses out of their seats to try to engage with the masses. At least these people are trying. So yeah, take care, everybody. I love you all, and stay informed.
Thank you.